Hello, everybody. As you all know, Platform.sh is a wonderful tool to develop, deploy, host, and secure web applications and websites. But these benefits actually work out even much better for people who do this in a larger quantity, like digital agencies, SaaS companies, systems integrators. Now, to that extent, Platform.sh has developed a partner program, and we have... Excuse me, just... Okay. Better. So Platform.sh has developed a partner program, and I've invited 5 of our partners from across Europe to talk to me about the benefits and the perks that the partner program gives to them in addition to Platform.sh. Yeah. Cracking noises.
Yes.
Now it's better. Much better. So, to the left of me is Stella from Stella Power from Annertech in Dublin. Next, Fabian von Tiedemann from the company Digitalist Sweden in Stockholm. Abdel Kandeh from a French company called Niji. Bran van Hove from Open Social in the Netherlands. And finally, we have Sebastian from elbformat in Hamburg. So I would like to let each of them shortly say something about their company, what they do, what their tech focus is. So Stella, go ahead.
Thanks, Erik.
Is this on?
Can you hear me okay? Now it's on. Okay, so yeah, I'm Stella. I'm Managing Director of Annertech, and I like to say that I'm a recovering developer. So that's where my background is. So Annertech is a Drupal specialist agency. So we work a lot with the public sector and B2B clients in Ireland and UK and elsewhere in Europe.
Okay, Fabian, same question to you.
Same question to me. Yeah, Fabian, I work at the Digitalist. We are an open tech company. Our background is the same as Stella. We used to be a Drupal specialist company. We do a bit more now. Yeah, our clients are also in the public sector, NGOs, most of them, and B2B, actually. So, a lot alike. Same size, roughly.
Okay. Abdel, you're the head of the software factory. So
Yes.
what is that?
So yeah, the software factory at Niji. Niji is a consulting company. It has consulting, design, development. And I head the software factory, which is 500 people. And we develop all sorts of apps, mobile and web, on all sorts of technology stacks. And we serve all sorts of customers and public sectors.
All right. Bram, something special about you is that your company used to be a normal digital agency building websites, but then you transformed, you even changed your name, you were called Gold Gorilla, now you're called Open Social. So what is Open Social?
So indeed, we're existing now almost 15 years indeed, so we switched to Open Social, which is an online community software, online community engagement platform. And we service communities like Greenpeace, has European Commission, UN, and different of these NGOs and non-profits with our community software and member management solution.
All right. And then finally, Sebastian, you have a different technology in your stack than the others. You use Ibexa, which is one of the main sponsors here, and you also use Zulu. That's what you just told me. So can you say a few things about that?
Yes, so we are elbformat digital agency from Hamburg, north of Germany, about 60 people. So the business is nearly the same than before. We refused to do Drupal projects. So we looked at technology that we thought was quite mature and we could work with. And Symfony was the technology that we rely on, and we looked for content management systems built on Symfony, and there was only 2 that we found. So one is Zulu that we're working with, and we are partnering with Ibexa. We're doing that for quite a few years now and have lots of clients in Ibexa. And Ibexa has a special offering, Ibexa Cloud, which is based on Platform.sh. So this is where we come into contact and thought this would be quite a good platform that we can use for the websites that we provide or the applications that we provide.
All right, excellent. I'll pass on the mic back to Stella. So Stella, first question. How has Platform.sh helped you to innovate?
It's been really good, actually. So at Annertech we have, I don't know, about 70 sites and 70 clients and over 100 sites that we support and maintain, look after on a monthly basis. And we couldn't do that without a platform such as Platform.sh behind it, because we can have standardized tooling around it. So we've developed a lot of internal tools and dashboards built around Platform.sh's API and the client CLI that you have. So that's really helped us innovate internally, provide a better service to our customers, and be able to build more tools and do so consistently.
Right. Wonderful. Yeah, you can actually.
Okay.
Sorry. So Fabian, the question to you is, in what way has it helped you to grow? So in Stella's case, it was about innovation, but you have also quite aggressive growth in your company. How has Platform been pivotal in that process?
Yeah, we have not worked with Platform as long as you have. I understand you have been on Platform for 7 years or something like that. We're quite new. We started working with you 1.5 years ago. 1.5 years ago. And what has been really good is when we opened up a new studio in Helsinki half a year ago, or beginning of the year. And it has really been fantastic to onboard the team in Finland. Now they are 10 developers, and the onboarding of them has been really smooth. They onboarded with you guys, but also all the documentation and our internal knowledge base has helped them get up to speed without no outside help, basically. Right. Yeah, that's made it possible to grow to 10 people really, really fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Abdel, a question to you. Have you seen, you have this software factory with so many developers, and I know you've been using us a lot also. Have you seen any increase in productivity, specifically developer productivity? And can you give examples of this?
Yeah, I mean, in our case, Platform.sh was a lifesaver because we had a couple of projects where we had to find equilibrium in the economic equation as well as the time equation. As you may know, DevOps engineers are very hard to come by, and they're very hard to manage because they are rare, but you need to have them available for short periods of time at every one project. So Platform.sh actually helped our non-DevOps developer be able to be more productive quickly. An example, actually, we had a project with a higher education group. I say group meaning a set of different higher education schools, so with different decision makers, different expectations from their websites. So we could not have a full-time developer team waiting just for people to decide. And the fact that we deployed on Platform.sh let our other developers be autonomous and be available and be able to deliver on time with some time expectations that are dictated by the business. When you're a higher education school, you need to have your website up and running to recruit future students.
So you saved a lot of valuable time, actually.
Yes.
A lot of time.
I don't think we could have done it without Platform.sh.
Right. Thank you. Bram, on your open social platform, I know you have already loads of customers worldwide. So to what extent has Platform helped you scale? And can you give some numbers?
Yeah. So we have indeed customers worldwide, so in different regions of primarily Europe, primarily US side. And we've been doing this for, I think 5-6 years now. I'm not sure, maybe you know actually, Erik, how long we've been with you, but we started 5-6 years ago, and we've from the start integrated with the API quite heavily. So we built something around it so we can actually, with a click of a button, spin up a new environment, spin up a new project, upgrade it, downgrade it, expand. And this has been, I think, same for you, Abdel. It's been great actually with time saving. I think the standardization of that is super important if you're talking about growth and scaling. So that's been invaluable for us. Numbers. I think recently we had one of our global clients that, or clients that had a global event. I think we had roughly 85 million authenticated primarily web requests, and we were able to handle that through Platform.sh without, well, any hassle and anyone on standby almost. Well, we were on standby obviously, but nothing we had to do. And I think now we're probably serving 25 terabytes of data on like a monthly basis. So it's pretty neat numbers.
Pretty impressive too, yes. And Sebastian, a similar question to you. To what extent have you been able to scale and improve productivity, innovation on your side?
One example when it comes to an Abexa project is it's always speed. So usually customers come to us and say we need this and we need this as soon as possible. And just to give you an example, for the last website that we launched with Abexa DXP, that took us from the kickoff until going live with an MVP of a corporate website for a car manufacturer, that took us 6 weeks. And we included some design in there as well. So this is a thing where you start setting up systems and providing CDNs, etc. We would have done that without Platform.sh, that would have taken much longer.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Stella, back to you. Now you've got also a nice growth in your company. I know that since you've been using us, you practically doubled your headcount.
We've doubled, in the last 2 years, we've more than doubled our size.
And you've set up an office in the UK too, as I remember.
Last year we set up a UK subsidiary, so it's been quite exciting.
So have you noticed any improvement in productivity on your side from your developers since they started using Platform?
Well, we've been using Platform for 6-7 years now, something like that. But as Fabian was saying earlier, like onboarding new developers is really easy, really quick. Okay, we have our tooling built around it, but you know, they can get up to speed, they can get started, roll out new projects really quickly. It's been very helpful. In terms of productivity, we don't need a huge amount of DevOps. Developers are empowered to do it themselves. It's all configurable through the UI and through the CLI. It makes things much faster.
So the learning curve is actually quite small.
The learning curve is quite small, but the flexibility is also there.
Right. Okay, that's good. Fabian, question for you now, something totally different. Platform.sh, obviously our roots are in the Drupal community. So we come from the same area, but we've become pretty agnostic in terms of clouds, but also technology stacks. To what extent is that important to you? And to what extent has this helped you to use us throughout the company?
Yeah, we were looking at different platforms. We didn't only look at you when we decided to move a lot of our applications to a platform. We looked at Acquia and Pantheon and Heroku and stuff like that. And one thing that's really, really important for us is that we can run other things than Drupal. We have lots of lots of technologies we need to support, and that's what was one of the requirements we had. And so that's the basic case for us choosing Platform. And what we've seen now is with the new projects we do, it's easier for us to test new technologies, and we're not dependent. We have our own DevOps team actually maintaining really, really complex things that are not ready to move to Platform yet, but when adding new technologies before, we had really to think about what to add. But now we can look at, can Platform support this? Yeah, it supports it. We can do it.
We have a fairly extensive marketplace in which you can see all the stacks that we support.
And for example.
That is growing. Our DevRel team adds things to that. Okay. Something else too for you, Abdel. Obviously, you have to sell. We all have to sell. My question is, to what extent does your knowledge of Platform.sh help you sell to new customers? Is this making a difference?
It is definitely making a difference in two ways, actually, in two kinds of situations. Sometimes we are in front of tech-savvy customers, and sometimes, the customers say, "Hey, do you guys know Platform.sh?" In which case, we're happy to say, "Yeah, of course, we're friends, and I will speak on the stage for Platform.sh." But other times, when we are asked, what we recommend when we put Platform.sh on the table, it really makes us look good. So people who discover Platform.sh through us, they credit us with a certain level of pizzazz and sophistication that is very helpful to sell.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's also nice to hear that our partners are friends. Question for you, Sebastian. Hang on, my little ticker was he's acting up. What's my next question? This app decided to stop working? Yeah. Okay, hang on. Well, I can ask a question out of the top of my head.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
To what extent has Platform.sh been a lifesaver for you? Has it been a lifesaver in some situations?
I think so. Yes. I think. Well, lifesaver is always like an interesting concept, right? I think like we have had projects where the amount of security requirements, for example, I think this is a nice one, which I was in an ISO 27001 audit actually earlier this week. I'm not sure if anyone in the crowd is familiar with audits. Yeah, great, right? Yeah, amazing. So actually having Platform.sh as a tool to back us up on the hosting side is saving me a ton of time.
Right.
But it's also for our customers, like it's super important that security, like a Greenpeace, like a UN, obviously these organizations are dependent on high security in that sense. So lifesaver. In that regard, absolutely. I think this has been invaluable for us, how Platform.sh deals with that. Yes.
So specifically, I would say in terms of security compliance,
absolutely.
ISO, we are SOC 2 compliant, and that matches.
Yeah, and I think we actually won some contracts with that, where people were asking, like, okay, before we were ISO 27001 certified, that we could say, okay, our hosting partner is SOC 2 certified, and a lot of that it goes through them. We're pushing some of that to you in that sense, and that helped us win some contracts. So absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Question for you, Sebastian. A PaaS like Platform.sh is sometimes perceived as not so flexible because there are obviously some constraints. Has this been a problem to you? And if so, why? And if not, why not?
Rarely. To be honest, that's quite an odd question. Yes, platform as a service usually is definitely not that flexible as it would be if you were just cloud specific. For us as a partner, being cloud specific means you have to be specific for AWS, specific for Azure, specific for Google Cloud Platform, and need to have specialists for every three of this. So doing this is quite difficult, and we decided not to go cloud specific. The question otherwise is quite an old question that we had in other contexts as well. Just had a chat a few weeks ago with colleagues I didn't have seen for 20 years. And we came up with a similar question. Isn't that a big thing? And I said, yes, I had discussions with my professors when I was at my studies. And they said, you could do this in assembler. Why do you use higher level languages like Java? And I said, yes, you're losing a few parts, but you have more people that can do it. And it's definitely the same. You are not that flexible if you do things in Java that you would be doing things in assembler. But you have more developers that are able. And this is the same with Platform.sh. You can have much more people work with it without having specific knowledge in cloud technologies as you would have otherwise.
Okay, makes sense, absolutely. Stella, one more question to you. Okay. To what extent, with the question of Bram, has Platform saved you from a problematic situation?
Okay, so it's probably easier if I talk about a case in point.
Absolutely.
So recently worked with the University of Limerick. So for those of you who don't know, it's a large national university in Ireland. They had a serious governance issue. They had over 200 sites, all Drupal, but maybe WordPress and maybe something else, all different versions could be maintained, everything was out of sync. They didn't know what was going on in terms of content or security. So they wanted to obviously move off their current infrastructure and move on to hosting infrastructure that they weren't maintaining themselves, so that not their own vanilla boxes. And they also wanted a new unified site. So we built a new Drupal 9 site for them, and we took 50 sites in phase 1 and put it on the new platform. And that was all great. However, they had another 150 sites that weren't moving to Platform.sh in phase 1, and that weren't going to be on the new system. So the Fastly CDN that comes with Platform.sh was a lifesaver, because we could put a reverse proxy in place and point the traffic different ways. So it was really helpful to do that. And then last minute, of course, have we ticked these security compliance questions? Right. Yes, you're SOC 2 certified. It had everything there.
That's usually a last minute.
Yeah, it's always a last minute checkbox thing.
Right.
But, yeah.
Okay. Fabian, you just mentioned you have still a DevOps team. You have these complex situations. So the same question I asked Sebastian applies to you, I guess. To what extent are you facing issues with the perceived inflexibility of a PaaS? Is that a deal breaker or not? And how do you cope with it?
For some sites or applications, it's a deal breaker, because we maintain things for a long time, and it would take us forever to port it, basically. So right. Because we have built up our really, really bespoke hosting solutions for specific application. But we try to move everything we can move to platform. And sometimes we have some problems with resource management and finding the right size, etc. But we solve it, and the things that come out of it, I mean, there are big benefits for us when we move it to platform, because we get rid of all these snowflakes. We have been building snowflakes for 15 years, and now we can stay with one snowflake, and that's really good. Also, one really big thing that I think people forget sometimes, we have this really amazing people working as DevOps, maintaining our sites. Right. But with applications in production, things fuck up in production sometimes. And we get mad at each other. And it's much better to get mad at platform instead of on our colleagues. So
I'm sure our support and customer care teams appreciate that.
It's a professional.
But it's true.
Yeah, it's professional.
We take the blame and we take the strain. Yeah. But we save also the situation.
Yes.
All right. Abdel.
Yes.
Last question. You do Drupal, you do WordPress and other technologies. To what extent is this agnosticity also important to you? Have you noticed workflows that are harmonized or not harmonized because of this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as I said, I have a large population, working in a factory, and there's something special about Platform.sh is that I got, and again, we have WordPress, Drupal, Strapi, and very vibrant developer community with certain, how should I say, competitiveness among them. And Platform.sh was appreciated from the get-go by everybody. So that's one thing they agree upon. And it was really amazing for me to observe, because although, again, the Drupal community, one of my Drupal guys is here, I had the same reaction from the WordPress guy. And that is really a very nice change of ambiance in the meeting room when you have these guys agree on the same thing. But again, as you said, it allows us to harmonize the practices. It allows us to better negotiate with you guys in terms of pricing and leverage. And also it allows us to put the pitch in the hands of our salespeople, so that we don't have to stick a Drupal guy or a WordPress guy or DevOps guy behind them to explain what this thing is about. So now even our salespeople, when asked about what's your streamlined deployment approach, they can identify the opportunities and deliver the pitch on their own.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad to hear that. Bram, Platform.sh has developed a green initiative. And tomorrow there's actually a keynote by our CEO Fred and our Lea Goldfarb. And what is your take on this? How important is green IT to open social?
I think it's essential to not only open social, I think it's essential to any organization currently and in the future. I think that Platform.sh focuses on green hosting and all the initiatives that you're doing there. I think it's excellent. I think it's a real important thing to do. We're working with a lot of NGOs that care deeply about the world, right? Greenpeace, we have Milieudefensie, a Dutch organization. We have quite a few of these that, well, it's a super hot topic in this space. We moved some of our clients actually to Platform.sh because they can move them to green hosting. For Greenpeace, for example, like it is non-negotiable. Like if we would not be able to offer this, or you would not be able to offer this, then we wouldn't have signed them as a client in that case. So it's solving a real-world problem, and it's something we all need to step up to. And I think this is you driving this change in hosting landscape. I think it's a really important thing. Yeah.
Excellent. Sebastian, exactly the same question to you. How important is this for you? Germany is a country that is also famous for a lot of green initiatives in terms of energy production and measures, and for a long time. So what is your take on this?
Yeah, to be honest, unfortunately, I'm quite disappointed that this is a question that we have to deal with green IT at all. It should be a standard, and it should be what everyone is doing. And therefore, it is a checkmark that you have to take, and it would be a deal breaker if not, for us, definitely, because it's one of the most important things that we have to care about. And so this is definitely really, really, really important, and wouldn't have done anything without that.
Okay. Well, yes, absolutely, Abdel.
Let me answer the question that you didn't ask me. But I invite you guys to you can cut this at the montage, but to visit Niji.fr, because the aspect we're talking about is really tantamount for us. We just redeployed our website last week or 2 weeks ago with an extremely sustainable design, and beyond, the fact that we are nice people and we want to save the world, it is really important for people to rally around the sustainability and the philosophy of sustainability in the web designs. Yeah.
It's true. The Niji website is absolutely exemplary, and absolutely everybody should visit it. Yes. And they explain also why it is so good. Any questions from the room? If there are, there is a mic that can be brought to you. Do I see somebody raising his hand? No. No, if not, then I would like to thank all of you for being our very loyal partners, for being here, and I hope you find the conference very interesting, and I wish you a very good evening. Thank you.